The rain hammered against the tin roof of the small leaning shack. Inside, the air was damp and smelled of old wood. It was late, past the time when most children in the neighborhood were asleep, but in the corner of the single room, a small flicker of light danced against the wall. Leo, 10 years old, sat on a woven mat. His knees were pulled up to his chest. In one hand, he held a small, half-melted candle. He had to hold it very still so the hot wax wouldn't drip onto his fingers, but also so the light wouldn't shake. Next to him lay Maya, his 7-year-old sister. She was lying on her stomach, her face close to a crumpled piece of paper. She held a pencil that was so short it was almost impossible to grip. "My eyes hurt, Leo," Maya whispered, rubbing her face. "Can we stop?" Leo looked down at her gently. He adjusted the candle to give her better light. "Just 2 more math problems. Maya, you promised. Mom isn't here to help, so we have to do it." Their mother was out cleaning floors in the big city, and their father had passed away 2 years ago. That left Leo as the man of the house. He wore a t-shirt with holes in the shoulders and shorts that were too small, but his eyes were fierce with determination. He knew one thing: Maya was smart, much smarter than him. "If you learn this," Leo said softly, "one day you won't have to sleep on a mat. You can have a bed. A real soft bed." Maya looked at him with wide, trusting eyes. She picked up the tiny pencil again. "Okay, Leo, for the bed." Every day was a battle. Leo would wake up at 5 a.m. to collect plastic bottles and scrap metal from the streets. He would sell them for a few coins. He didn't buy candy or toys. He bought rice for dinner, and with whatever tiny amount was left, he bought second-hand books for Maya. When the other boys played soccer in the dust, Leo was working. When they laughed at his dirty clothes, he looked away. He had a mission. He helped Maya with her homework every single night, even when his own stomach was growling from hunger. Then came the day that changed everything. A distant aunt, who had married a man in a faraway country, came to visit the village. She saw how smart Maya was. She offered to take Maya with her. "I can give her a good life," the aunt told Leo. "Good schools, good food, but I can only take one. You are too old, Leo. You must stay here and work." Leo didn't cry. He packed Maya's few clothes into a plastic bag. He gave her the tiny pencil stub as a keepsake. "Go," Leo told her, his voice cracking. "Don't look back, just study. Promise me you will study." Maya cried and clung to his leg, but he gently pushed her toward the shiny car. As the car drove away, kicking up dust, Leo stood alone in his torn shirt. He felt like his heart had been ripped out of his chest. 15 years passed. Leo was now 25. He looked older than his years. His hands were calloused and rough from years of heavy construction work. He still lived in the same neighborhood, though he had fixed the roof of the shack. He had heard nothing from Maya for 10 years. He assumed she had forgotten him, or perhaps she was too ashamed of her poor brother to reach out. He didn't blame her. He just hoped she was happy. One hot afternoon, while Leo was mixing cement by the roadside, a silence fell over the street. The usual noise of honking bikes and shouting vendors stopped. A long, black car, sleeker and more expensive than anything the neighborhood had ever seen, rolled slowly down the potholed road. It stopped right in front of Leo. Leo wiped the sweat and dirt from his forehead, squinting. The driver's door opened, and a man in a suit stepped out to open the back door. A young woman stepped out. She was beautiful, wearing a sharp business suit and heels that didn't belong in the dirt. Leo looked down at his muddy boots, feeling embarrassed. He turned to walk away, thinking she was a government official or a developer. "Leo," the voice was soft, but it stopped him cold. He turned around. The woman took off her sunglasses. Her eyes were filled with tears. She reached into her expensive purse and pulled out something small. She held it up. It was a tiny, old pencil stub. "Maya," Leo gasped. She ran to him. She didn't care about the cement on his clothes or the sweat on his skin. She hugged him so tight that they almost fell over. "I thought you forgot." Leo wept, holding his little sister. "I never forgot," Maya sobbed. "I wrote to you, but the letters never arrived. I studied, Leo. I studied every single day, just like you told me. I finished school, then university, then law school." She pulled back to look at his tired face. "I am a lawyer now, Leo. I fight for people like us. I am so proud." Leo smiled through his tears. "You have the soft bed now." Maya shook her head and smiled. "We have the soft bed." She signaled to the driver, who popped the trunk. It was filled with boxes, not just gifts, but papers, deeds, and documents. "I didn't come back just to visit," Maya said, her voice shaking with emotion. "I came back to take you home. I bought a house in the city, a big one, and I paid your tuition." Leo was confused. "Tuition? You held the light for me while I studied, Leo," she said. gripping his rough hands. Now, it is my turn to hold the light for you. You are going to school. You are going to be an engineer, just like you always dreamed before you gave it up for me. The neighbors watched in shock as the poor laborer, who had nothing, fell to his knees, weeping. His sacrifice hadn't been lost. The love he planted 15 years ago in the dim light of a candle had returned, bright enough to light up the rest of his life.